I gotta be real. I'm not really a fan of Marvel in general, and I'm not even a fan of these like Overwatch 6v6 shooter video games. But Marvel Rivals is pretty good. It's a free-to-play game that is artistically super interesting. The gameplay is pretty solid. It's fun, it's messy, it's chaotic, it's really easy to get into, and it's definitely one of those games that's going to be really hard to master. Especially some characters like Spider-Man. That character is... It's always amazing to see some of the highlights from what people can do when it comes to combos with Spider-Man. I mean, the fact that they even implemented the web swinging in this game with Spider-Man is... I was never expecting that, to be that honest with you. And that goes to show that they really tried to implement the overall personality and abilities that we all know to love from these characters, especially from the movies and the comics, into this game. It's even simple things, right? Like Iron Man, the fact that you can fly around with him and shoot rockets and shoot out his beam. It's so simple, but it works really well. And this is something that you see throughout all of the characters from this game. On an art direction point, I think this game is just too good. These guys really know what they're doing. They've done a brilliant job in trying to be something different from everything that we know from Marvel, while still keeping that identity, but introducing something new, you know what I mean? The overall art style of Arcane and League of Legends, it definitely feels like it had a big influence in this game. Some of these things are so simple, but they add so much to the game, right? For example, when you come to the Heroes tab, the fact that when you over your mouse over one character and the character just does this like animation, even if you move around, the character moves around, it adds so much to the game, man. It really does. It brings so much personality to it. And when you select it, you get this really crazy cool animation to it. You get a tab with showcasing all of the cosmetics, a really brief and good description regarding, you know, what are the abilities of this character, what does it do. Here's a cool suggestion of a combo, even describing the abilities in like one quick phrase while showcasing to you a video about it, but in the end also suggesting a combo for this character. But it's not only about the combo, it's about how the overall character should be played in general. And if you want some of the lore also of the character, you have a tab for that, and the proficiency of the character. One thing that is awesome about this game is that you have a ton of heroes already from the get-go, and you can play them for free. You don't need to put a single dime on this game in order to play every single character, and that's awesome. The only thing that you can really buy in this game is cosmetics, and I'm completely fine with that. One of the big points that this game is trying to sell when it comes to is the fact that the map is destructible. And now it is cool to see that the map can be destroyed, and it changes your overall approach to that specific match. Because, you know, at times you're probably using a specific building to get to a certain position, and suddenly that building is destroyed, and now you need to change your tactics. I wonder what is the actual impact that it's giving to the overall game and how it will evolve. There's also this really curious thing with heroes called team-ups. If you select certain characters, they can team up and have an extra ability that you can use in your battle. It's honestly just a fun little game to play. To me, it's kind of like Trackmania. Sometimes I like to go back to Trackmania, like casually speaking, and play it for dumb fun, you know what I mean? I feel like this game kind of goes into that category, at least for me. Now, obviously, this game is still very early on in its life cycle. It definitely feels like they want to do a big push for this game, especially on a esports front. At least they have already a dedicated tab where you can already join up for tournaments, even create or join a faction, which is basically a group of players that can go into tournaments as that faction, right? It's just their name for team, all right? Now, will this game be successful? Only time will tell. It depends heavily on the amount of updates that these guys do. It depends on how they can penetrate the esports scene. It depends if Twitch streamers actually play the game. It's going to be very interesting to accompany Marvel Rivals. I do believe that they have a formula here that might work really well, but only time will tell. Obviously, we're still in that sort of honeymoon phase. I think we just have to wait a little bit more just to see how the meta develops, what people and professional players that might brew from this game think about when it comes to the overall maps and their overall designs. And then maybe we can start speaking a little bit more about the future for this game in general. This is very surprising, actually, coming from NetEase. NetEase is a company that mostly focuses on, at least from what I've seen here, mobile games, apart from Naraka Blade Point. some of these people that work in NetEase are like really good. Some of them are veterans in the video game industry in general. And I mean, some of their work is insanely well done. But the success of this game will heavily depend on if the game can sustain its overall hype from now on. It's definitely banking on that right now, but it definitely needs to give a reason for players to come back constantly. Obviously, the Marvel franchise and the Marvel brand are going to be huge in order to keep players coming in. But you know, marketing, the esports scene, if Twitch streamers actually jump into the bandwagon and actually play this game, all of it will have weight in terms of the longevity for this game. But regardless, at least from what I've played and experienced from this game, I think this game has two very good legs to stand on and potentially bring a lot of great competition for Overwatch, at least on the 6v6 shooter style of games. I can't really recall a game that is a direct competitor and a threat to Overwatch in general. And I do believe that this game might be definitely it. The major strengths right now of this game are the Marvel brand, the overall art style and animations, and the fact that you can just simply play everything for free. And that is amazing. And honestly, props for NetEase for doing so. I wouldn't say that gameplay is on the lower end. I just don't believe that the gameplay is as strong as the art direction in general. But I mean, this game is still very early on in its life cycle. It's going to be very curious to see how this game will look like in a year, in 2 years, 3 years, and so on. Hopefully it doesn't do the same mistakes that X-Defiant did, and it won't close in 6 months. I don't believe so. The game runs really, really well. I had no issues, no bugs or anything. I think the main takeaway is like, I'm not a fan of these sorts of games or even the Marvel brand. I was not expecting to be captivated by it, and I was. And if I was, I wonder how people that actually enjoy these 6v6 shooter games are looking at this game, because they're probably marveled by it. I don't know. That's what it feels like to me. Let me know what you think about this game if you're a fan of these sorts of Overwatchy sort of games. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and have a good one. See ya.